This video is brought to you by Card Kingdom, and while supplies last, if you mention Saffron Olive in your order notes, we'll hook you up with a free Saffron Olive sticker with any Card Kingdom order. Well, we will play Rankle. We will keep new Rankle. And this is the power of the ranks! This is the power of the ranks, and this is why we picked up the deck, and that is a victory! And that is Rankle. All these people talking about Sultai Oko, how good it was, how unbeatable it was. Well, apparently Rankle's the answer. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Budget Magic. So this week, we are delving into Throne of Eldraine Standard for the very first time, thanks to the preview streaming day, the early access day, that Wizards gave a bunch of streamers and content people full accounts for one day, so thank you to them for giving us a full account. But that means there's a bit of a twist this week. We are playing Best of 1 Standard. We always play Best of 3, but this was the only way to do Throne of Eldraine this week. It was either record during the preview streaming day and do Best of 1, or not do Throne of Eldraine, and I'm just too excited for Throne of Eldraine away. So we are playing a deck that isn't a Best of 1 deck. I built this deck for Best of 3. We just happen to be playing it in Best of 1 matches, which is Rankle Black. Mono-Black Rankle. I think Rankle Master of Pranks is one of the sweetest, most busted, most underrated cards from Throne of Eldraine, and we're going to put that to a test in this Mono-Black aggro shell. So, like usual, going to do a quick deck tag, talk about the deck, jump into the gameplay, see how Rankle Black works in practice. Before we do, a super quick reminder, if you haven't already, it would be so awesome of you if you could take a second, click that subscribe button down at the bottom of your screen. It's a great way to support the channel and the site for free. So let's talk Mono-Black Rankle, starting with the Rankster itself, Rankle Master of Pranks. So 4 mana, you get a 3/3 with Flying and Haste. When it deals combat damage to a player, you get to choose any number of 3 options. You can't choose the same one more than once, you can't choose them a million times, anything like that, but you get to choose each player discards a card, each player loses life and draws a card, each player sacrifices a creature, so you choose 0 of those, 1 of those, all the way up to 3 of those. And Rankle is, I believe, an insane top-end threat in an aggro deck, and that's what we're playing today. We're a black-based aggro deck, and the idea is that Rankle comes down with haste at the top end of our curve, smashes in for damage out of blue with haste, and kind of gets in 4 damage. It's essentially 4 power flyer if you consider we can make each player lose a life when Rankle hits. So essentially, if we can get in a bunch of damage early in the game, Rankle can come down and just close out the game, and even better, we got a bunch of cool tricks and synergies. So if Rankle isn't winning the game immediately, we can kind of get around the discard mode, we can take advantage of the sacrifice a creature mode, so we got a lot of neat synergies in the deck as well. So Rankle, the reason we're playing the deck, the top end of our curve, as far as our 1-drop, and we're just gonna kind of work our way up the curve from here. Gutterbones, Knight of Eben Legion. You know what Knight of Eben Legion does? It's a really strong 1-drop, pumping itself, growing. Gutterbones, very synergistic in this deck. It's good to sacrifice to a Rankle, it's something we can discard a Rankle, get back to our hand, so it gives us a lot of synergy there. Actually, if we have a Rankle and a Gutterbones in hand, we can choose not to play Gutterbones and just keep discarding it, returning it, discarding it, returning it. So we break the symmetry of this symmetrical discard because we have a Gutterbones we can discard for free. Kind of do the same thing with sacrificing it as well. So really synergistic, plus a 2-powered 1-drop. Then in the 2-drop slot, speaking of more synergies, Order of Midnight. This was a card I kind of slept on a little bit, but I think it's actually perfect for the deck. A 2/2 flying for 2, even if it can't block, it is fine in an aggro deck, sneaking in for damage in the air, and we can kind of use it as this bad Raise Dead, 2 mana to return a creature from a graveyard to our hand. So maybe we got to discard something good to Rankle. We can get it back with Order of Midnight, then cast Order of Midnight as a 2/2 flyer from our exile zone. We also have Yarok's Fenlurker. Not a lot of super great options in the 2-drop slot, but it comes down kind of a 2-for-1 since we exile a card from our opponent's hand, and we can pump it in the late game. Then we have our 3-drops, and this is where the deck gets really scary. If you're looking at our curve, picture, I don't know, Knight of the Eben Legion into whatever, either one of our 2-drops. We can follow those up with Rotting Regizar, the big ol' 7/6 for 3, just the biggest 3-drop in the standard format, a super fast clock if it gets in, and dodges a surprising amount of removal. We don't have as much hard removal running running around at the moment. So Regisaur, a little bit safer than it used to be. Also, Spawn of Mayhem, way undercosted if we can spectacle it in, which with our aggressive curve, we should be able to. A 4/4 flyer for 3, really good. Plus, we get to drain our opponent. Also, we could use some of the same tricks with riding Regisaur with our gutter modes and stuff, discarding it, getting it back. And the other thing about this deck is we can also just not care about the downside of our riding Regisaur, of our other discard outlets, because we just get empty-handed. We just curve out, go Helmet, and then we don't care. Like, riding Regisaur make us discard a card, Rankle make us discard a card, whatever. We don't have any cards anyway, so that's the other way we can kind of break the symmetry. We also have Arya, First of the Lockwayne, and this gives us just a tiny bit of reach. Comes into play, drains for 1 whenever a black creature comes into play, drains for 1, then we can sack a black creature to draw a card. It's triple black, we don't care. Every land in our deck taps for black mana, so if we can get our opponent almost dead, we can use like Spawn of Mayhem's pinging ability, Arya's draining ability to finish off the game, kind of like a red deck would, which is very powerful. Then we have our interaction. So Drill Bit, I think, is also criminally underrated in Standard. In our deck, usually a Thoughtseize starting on like turn 2, definitely by turn 3 with our aggressive, evasive early drops, just coming down, taking our opponent's best thing. Legion's End to get rid of a bunch of things that could potentially block our attacking creatures. 1 murder where we gotta kill anything. We also have some nice synergy in the mana base, especially Castle Lockwayne. So if we end up empty-handed, which usually happens because of Rankle, because of riding Regisaur, then we can use Castle Lockwayne for 1 life and essentially 4 mana, 3 and tapping it, we should draw an extra card, so this is a good way to refuel. Our stuff's cheap enough, we can hopefully cast it right away, so if the game goes long, this just lets us draw an extra card every turn, and gets around the drawback of having to discard our own stuff to some of our threats. 1 Witch's Cottage, I kind of wish I didn't actually play it. I mean, it's fine, but it's not actually all that exciting, I don't think, although the art is very good. And a bunch of swamps. So, because we played best of 1, we didn't have a sideboard, but if you are playing best of 3, my sideboard included stuff like Duress and Midnight Reaper, kind of for control matchups. Midnight Reaper to fight through sweepers, removal, drawing extra cards. Duress, more ways to pick apart our control opponent's hand. Then for aggro head, Sorin's Thirst, Disfigure, early game removal, murders to deal with bigger threats. And then Bag of Holding is also really sneakily good. A little bit awkward in the main deck because we're really focused on being aggressive. But out of the sideboard, because our riding Regisaur or Rankle calls us to discard, Bag of Holding kind of stores up those cards that we discard to our other effects, and then eventually we can get them all back. So in control matchups, I think it's a really good sideboard card to bring in because it synergizes well with the rest of our deck. And that is Mono-Black Rankle for Throne of Eldraine Standard, and that's our budget magic for this week. So let's get to the gameplay, see if janking people out with the biggest, baddest, hastiest threats in Throne of Eldraine Standard in the mono-black colors can actually work. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay, and I'll be back in a bit with the wrap-up. Alright, budget magic time. Throne of Eldraine is here, at least in best of 1 form. So we are heading to Standard, best of 1, playing a super sweet new post-rotation deck. We are playing Mono-Black Rankle aggro, I guess. And I'm pretty excited for this deck. Let's go to combat, get in with Gutter Bones, hit our opponent. So Mono-Black Rankle aggro, Drill Bit our opponent with Spectacle, Thoughtseize you, the real Standard Thoughtseize. We will take Oku, Castle Lockwayne, play Knight of the Ebon Legion, pass the turn. Don't want our opponent to start making 3/3s, that would be obnoxious. And Rankle's gonna be coming. We got our Gutter Bones for sacrificing. I guess there's an Assassin's Trophy. Duress is not scary. We're fine with our opponent duressing. Feels like we're off to a decent start. And we have Castle Lockwayne to start refueling here in the future. Witch's Cottage, it's just a one of. It doesn't feel great at the moment. We would rather draw it later in the game. Definitely coming into play untapped. The castles should always come into play untapped. Witch's Cottage, if they drew Oko, I'm going to be a little angry. Alright, Legion's End. That's fine. Sure. Kills one of our dorks. Opponent passes. Well, we don't have anything in the graveyard yet. So, go to combat. Attack. Opponent down to 12. Yarok's Fenlurker. Opponent's got to exile a card. Yeah, Duress isn't doing much. Play Witch's Cottage. Pass the turn. Can we close this out? If we get a land for Rankle, I'm going to feel really good. Because even if they Assassin's Trophy it, we can Order of Midnight it back. Or, I guess, Adventure it. Whatever the adventure is called. Alter Fate it back. And then we're pretty much where we want to be to close out this game. That drill bit was huge. Snaking the Oku. Opponent would be making 3/3s like crazy, but instead, they're playing a bunch of bad cards. Like Inquisitive Puppet, for example. Opponent's got a lot of 0/2s that don't seem to necessarily block our 2-powered creatures that well. What you got, opponent? What you got? Gilded Goose. Yup, yup, yup. Let's see a Rankle. Let's see a Rankle. Spawn of Mayhem. Well, go to combat. Attack. See how our opponent blocks. Hopefully they don't when we get to Spawn of Mayhem. If they do, it's a little more annoying. Opponent blocks with Puppet. That's fine. Opponent blocks takes 1. They get to sacrifice Puppet to make a 1/1. That's still fine. Because Fenlurker hits, which lets us Spawn of Mayhem. And now if our opponent Assassin's Trophy Spawn of Mayhem, we have Rankle. And Rankle is what it's all about. And we're getting close to being able to cast a Lockwain too, to start refueling. And we have Order-of-Midnight. Like, we're in great position. We're exactly where we want to be at the moment. If our opponent had that Oku, things would be scary. But since we got rid of that Oku, I mean, I guess they can start gaining life, but I'm not super afraid. I mean, I guess it'll buy our opponent turn. That is the upside. Like, gaining life can help keep our opponent alive for a minute, but what you got, opponent? What you got? I mean, we're actually kind of rooting for Assassin's Trophy so we can get down Rankle. Opponent's really tanking. Wow, they're going to, like, time out. Oh, okay. Opponent drew an Oku. That's not the worst. What do they do with the Oku is the question. Downgrade Spawn of Mayhem. Well, we will go to combat. Everything at Oku. Opponent blocks. Well, that was a good draw for our opponent to peel the Oku. And blocks. Yeah, let's just pump and kill the goose. Oku down to 3. Pass the turn. Eventually we're going to draw land for this Rankle. It's got to happen. We can't just not draw lands forever. Sooner or later. We got 23 in the deck, so we're not even like skimping that much. Opponent. Lovestruck Beast. Oh, okay, 1/1 for One-Struck Beast. Lovestruck Beast. Well, step 1, we got to get this Oku off the table, because it's going to keep making 3/3s. Opponent makes a 3/3. Untap land. 1 card in hand. Assassin's Trophy. How do we want to do this? Go to combat. Attack Oku. Opponent trades. Well, now we Fenlurker. Get rid of the Assassin's Trophy. Opponent kills Fenlurker. That's fine. We finally get a swamp. And now we get to adventure back Spawn of Mayhem. Pass the turn. We finally got to 4 mana. So Rankle will be coming eventually. And we found our Aria, which is going to be good too. Like, we have run our opponent out of action. And we have a bunch of cards. It's technically like 5 cards that we're going to have access to. So as long as we deal with this Oku, we're just in great shape. An opponent doesn't even have that much to Oku with. They can play Lovestruck Beast. Can attack. No 1/1. Ooh, opponent draws Vraska. Interesting. Interesting. Makes a food token. Sacks the food token. Well, I think this means we are playing Rankle. Are we playing Rankle? I think we are. I think we are playing the land, playing Rankle. Attack our opponent, attack our opponent. And, let's see. Each player sacks a creature, and... How do we want to manage this? Opponent's at 6. Yeah, let's each draw. We'll sack Fenlurker. Pass the turn. Opponent. We would still like another land. Land lets us Aria and then Spawn of Mayhem. Opponent's down to 5. We're close to closing this out. We're not quite there, but we're close. Lovestruck Beast. Sure. I assume they downgrade Rankle. Yep. Alright. Rankle becomes a 3/3. What's Vraska do? Scry land for our opponent. To the bottom. No sack. Oh, there's the land. Alright, so play the land. Play Aria. Drain our opponent. Which turns on Spawn of Mayhem Spectacle. Drain our opponent. No attacks. Well, the pressure's coming. The pressure's still coming. Alright, opponent. I mean, they got a bunch of planeswalkers that are annoying, but opponent is down to 2. Or down to 3. Vraska takes down Aria. Oku downgrades Spawn. And Duress is a whiff. Spawn number 2. Love Struck Beast to make a 1/1. And boy, this is so close. That Oku draw was pretty big for our opponent. Tap land. Passes. Ooh, Ranks. Ranks is good. Ranks is very good. Well, we will play Rankle. Yes. We will keep new Rankle. And this is the power of the ranks. This is the power of the ranks. And this is why we picked up the deck. And that is a victory. And that is Rankle. All these people talking about Sultai Oko, how good it was, how unbeatable it was. Well, apparently Rankle's the answer. Opponent was doing their thing. They were Okoing, downgrading our stuff, Ferosking, killing our stuff, Love Struck Beasting, and it don't matter when Rankle's in the house. All right, that was good. That was good. Good. All right, budget magic time. We are playing best of 1 this week because that's the only option in existence. And we are playing Mono-Black Rankle, and it sounds fine. We're on the draw, which you never want to be in best of 1, but 1 drop, 2 drop. Hopefully by that time, since we are on the draw, we'll hit a land. 3 drops, doing sweet things. So we'll try this. Yeah, only best of 1 available today, unfortunately. Gilded Goose for our opponent. Well, there's a land. Swamp, Knight of the Eben Legion. What you got, opponent? Island. Passes. Well, play the Swamp. Fenlurker. Get another card out of our opponent's hand. Alright, it's an island. No attacks. Hopefully we can spawn into Regisaur and then maybe draw a Rankle. Castle Vantress, opponent passes. Play a Swamp, go to combat, attack. Ooh, opponent has a Nightpack Ambusher. Interesting. Okay. Blocks Fenlurker, takes 1. Well, let's spawn a Mayhem. There's the Oku for our opponent. Trades a food. Plays a land. Well, let's ping. Go to combat. Attack our opponent. Attack our opponent. Opponent takes it. Down to 13. Well, play Gutter Bones. Castle Lochwain. Actually, yeah, let's just spawn number 2. Spawn a Mayhem. Alright, opponent, can you beat it? Grow the Knight. Grow the Knight. Opponent, down to 13. I mean, this looks like Simic Flash, but we haven't even drawn Rankle, and we're just kind of stomping. On the draw, even. Alright, what can you Oku? I guess I can, like, trade a food for a Spawn of Mayhem, which is annoying. Oku is pretty interesting. Pretty strong. Oh, they can't because it's power. It's not converted mana cost. Opponent plays a tap land. So they can trade for one of our ground creatures. We don't really care about that. Opponent gives us a food, takes Knight of the Eben Legion. Okay. Gets in. That's fine. We'll take our beats. Down to 15. Grows our Knight. Makes a Dork. Well, trigger. We draw a not great Swamp. Well, go to combat. Attack our opponent. Attack our opponent. Blocks with the Goose. Drops to 7. Play a Swamp. Rotting Regisaur. Pass the turn. And opponent's got to deal with all of these spawns. I guess they could sack food to kind of stay alive, but our opponent's pretty close to being dead here. Even without the ranks coming through. We can sack this food to gain life. That's something. Opponent. All out attack. Well, I mean, kill Nightpack Ambusher. Another Nightpack Ambusher. Still doesn't matter. Down to 6. Got the GGs. And I think that does it. Opponent scoops it up. And even without Rankle, we were able to overcome Sultai Flash, new and improved. All right, this deck seems reasonable. It seems reasonable, at least. I mean, it'll be nice once we can play it in best of 3, but we make do with what we got here on the earliest days of Standard. So, not bad. I mean, I think my theory is it's better to have a best of 1 episode than to play a random Modern deck when everyone else is playing Throne of Eldraine. So you make do with what you got, and the deck is sweet. It is sweet. All right, on to the next. All right, budget magic time. We are playing best of 1 because it's the only option available. But we're playing Mono-Black Rankle. And, man, this hand looks good. Look at this curve. Really good 1-drop. into, I guess, really good 1-drop. We do need one more land, but we're keeping this. We are keeping this. We got big stuff. That's not a land. Well, play a swamp. Knight of the Ebon Legion. Pass the turn. 2-drop's good. We just really want to land for our 3/4 drops. Opponent plays a swamp. Worthy Knight. Yeah, that's a land. So we will, Castle Lochwain, Fenlurker. Opponent got to lose something. Opponent's going to start making 1/1s, but we're going to start playing 7/6s. Opponent exiles a Smitten Swordsmith. No attacks. Lochwain for our opponent, and a Midnight Reaper. Makes a 1/1. Sure. Opponent passes. We draw Gutter Bones. Well, play Castle Lochwain, Regisar. No attacks. Gutter Bones is a good draw, because it lets us, gives us a free discard to Regisar. Venerable Knight makes a 1/1. Icon of Ancestry pumps the dorks. Alright. You go, opponent. Are we attacking? No attacks. We will discard Gutter Bones. Go to combat. Attack with Regisar. Opponent gonna do some jumping. Well, Regisar Part 2. We're going Hellbent. Going Hellbent as quickly as possible. Opponent. Yeah, this Worthy Knight's been annoying. Just Worthy Knight making all these chump blockers is annoying. Smitten Swordsmith, a little bit of drainage. And cast it. Makes another annoying 1/1. Opponent passes. We'll discard Knight and Rankle. Well, go to combat. Attack. Opponent jumps. Ooh. Spawn or Regisar number 3 is the question. Oh, that's tough. That's a tough one. This is evasive. This is just huge. We're going to discard whatever one we don't play. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I think we go Spawn. Spectacle Spawn. Grow our Knight. Pass the turn. Because Spawn is more likely to get in, and it'll keep growing this Knight. Ooh, huge draw for our opponent off the top. Huge. All right, opponent finds a Murderous Rider. That is a draw. Opponent. Big attack. Let's kill Venerable Knight. Actually, do we even? Yeah, we gotta kill. Let's kill Swordsmith, because it has lifelink. Opponent hits us to 10. We lose our Knight. Opponent loses a life, draws a card, down to 16. We lose our last Regisar. We draw a swamp. Well, go to combat. Attack. Opponent blocks. Takes our beats. We will Gutter Bones. Replay Gutter Bones. Play the swamp. Pass the turn. Oh, that Murderous Rider was so huge. Tournament grounds for our opponent. Venerable Knight. Oh. Murderous Rider. Yeah, I think we are going to be dead now. Opponent goes attacking. Ugh. Unfortunate to the max. So we got a chump. We drop to 4. We draw a useless swamp. Well, play the swamp. Lochwain. Fenlurker. Yup. Alright. Unfortunate. Alright. Budget magic time. We are playing some Mono-Black Rankle in Standard and Best of 1 Standard. Throne of Eldraine Standard. Super new, super sweet post-rotation Standard. And this hand looks pretty good. We got a bunch of 1-drops. We would like a 3rd land at some point. Drill bit. Alright, so go to combat, attack, swamp, Gutter Bones, drill bit. Glad we did that. We will take that Legion's End. That would have been a blowout and a half. Well, our opponent's got Garruk's. We just need to kill our opponent before they get to Garruk. That's not bad. Go to combat. All attack. Opponent, 14. Knight of the Ebon Legion. Gonna start growing. Swamp. Order of Midnight. run it out. All right, the clock is there, opponent. Can you find a sweeper and ruin our day? That's a big question. Opponent. I mean, we got Roddy to finish things off, hopefully. The Garrick seem pretty dominant if our opponent can get to them. So we have to try to close out the game before... Ooh, the shock. The banner for the ramp. All right, well, we hit as hard as we can. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think rather than... Yeah, I think we actually just pump Knight and hit our opponent low enough that they can't play an untapped shock land. Swamp go. So our opponent can't play an untapped land. They need, like... It's got to be Ritualisted, I guess. Tap land. Passes. Well, we go to combat. Attack. Nightback Ambusher. Sure, but that's not enough. And no Rankle, no problem. Run him over. Opponent blocks the Knight. That is fine. Well, don't play slow decks against us. One of the interesting things about playing aggro, I think, is with the mana base being so shock heavy at the moment, we can actually really punish people for playing aggro, by playing aggro. Because as we saw in that matchup, because shocks are the only full land cycle, you gotta play them. And if you're playing a mid-rangey deck, you gotta play them untapped sometimes. So the fact that our opponent dealt, 4, 6 damage to themselves, that was actually really helpful in allowing us to close out the game before our opponent could stabilize. Yeah, alright, that sounds fine. No 1-drop is a little sad, but Fenlurker into spawn with a murder to deal with something. Black is a little lacking in a non-conditional removal spell. We don't have like a Doomblade effect at 2 mana in our current standard, which is a little awkward, but... Ooh, opponent's mulliganing and on the play. That might make these Fenlurkers pretty effective. Swamp go. And Castle Lockwane could be good if the game goes long. What you up to, opponent? Swamp and Thought Erasure. Ooh, Lucky Clover. Okay. Well, Swamp and Fenlurk you. We don't have a way to get rid of this Lucky Clover because we are mono-black. We can't kill an artifact. Opponent dumps a Doom Whisper. Is this some sort of like janky surveil combo? There's a Thought Erasure. Opponent's doing something spicy. That's one of the cool parts about these early recordings, early stream days, the early access thing. And thanks again to Wizards for the invite, is you get to see all these kind of wild brews. Ooh, Drill Bit's nice. Yeah, I think we just empty our opponent's hand, honestly, or almost. Get in, hit our opponent. Down to 19. Fenlurker. Snag a card. Ventress Gargoyle. Drill Bit. Snag whatever card our opponent has. Alright, take a Murderous Rider. Alright, opponent. I'm sure they kept a land on top. It's a swamp. Murders our Fenlurker and our Fenlurker. I mean, I guess that's not bad. Copy it. Well, Swamp, full price, Spawn of Mayhem. I love Castle Lockwane in this deck. Opponent, cast the Murderous Rider. We do some pinging. Yeah, let's just Regisar. Get in with Spawn of Mayhem. Opponent down to 10. I guess if they hit another Murderous Rider, it's annoying. Because it kills both of our things. Drown in the Lock. Alright, that kills one of our things. One thing will happen. Discard Fenlurker. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent blocks. Well, that's fine. Regisar. Swamp. Come on. No Murderous Rider. Drown in the Lock. Alright, opponent's staying alive. Just barely. Now go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. Do we want to put a creature back on top? Let's Witch's Cottage. Let's not. I think we're just going to draw with Castle Lockwane. Yeah, just a swamp. Lucky Clover Part 2 in the GGs. We discard the land. We draw whatever. We go to combat. We get in with Roddy. And I think that does it. That does it. And the deck continues. Well, we're up against a brew. And we saw some spice with Lucky Clover into double Heroes Downfall. But not enough to keep up with Mono-Black ranks. Sorry. Alright, budget magic time. We are playing Mono-Black Rankle. And missing our 1-drop, but that's fine. Even without a 1-drop, this hand's fine. Witch's Cottage. I actually don't even know if we want Witch's Cottage. It doesn't seem as good as I was hoping. Let's Fenlurk you. Snag a card. See what our opponent's up to. Could be like Knights. Exiles Piper of the Swarm. Interesting. And Piper of the Swarm. Well, play a Swamp. Play Fenlurker. Get rid of Holy Pipers. Alright, that is a lot of Piper of the Swarms. No attacks. Swamp for our opponent. Priest of the Forgotten Gods. We draw a Swamp. Yeah, let's just spawn. No attacks. Could use a Rankle. Where's our Rankle? We have not drawn Rankles as much as we'd like, sadly. If opponent kills Spawn of Mayhem, we should be able to get it back. I mean, we can definitely get it back. We might be able to play it right away. Ooh, opponent has Rankle. Interesting. Opponent is also on the Rankle plan. Well, at least we got Spawn of Mayhem. Opponent passes. Gets pinged. Whew, Spawn number 2. Well, go to combat. Attack with Spawn of Mayhem. Opponent takes it to 15. Spawn of Mayhem, number 2. Yeah, play a Swamp, Order of Midnight. Just run it out. Run them all out. If only this was a Castle Lockwain. But we got a good board. Pass the turn. All right, opponent. Do your worst against our board full of Spawn of Mayhems. Oh, I wish we had a Rankle, though. Swamp for our opponent. 2 cards in hand, although they can draw with Priest, painfully. I guess Piper with Priest is kind of cute. You can, like, make a rat, sack it. All right, here comes rat number 1. Although we're not super worried about Priest because we have Gutterbones to sack and get back and just keep doing that. Wow, sacks the Rankster. All right. Well, that was the saddest Rankle I've ever seen. They must have another one. Yeah, another one in hand. Rankle returns. Opponent passes, pinging and pinging. Knight of the Eben Legion. Well, that's fine. Go to combat. Attack, attack. Man, maybe we just attack with everything. I think we do. Let's attack with everything. Opponent blocks Order of Midnight. 4, 8, 9, 10. Let's Fenlurker. Opponent goes to 2. Knight of the Eben Legion. Pass the turn, and this means our opponent just dies to Spawn of Mayhem, which should make it pretty hard. Like, our opponent has to not take combat damage. Also, they have to deal with Spawn of Mayhems to not die to Spawn of Mayhem damage. And I feel like our Mono-Black deck might just be slightly better. Opponent gets in. Hits us. What choices are chosen? I don't think they can draw, because then they lose to a single Spawn of Mayhem. Wow, they do draw. Okay, well, I guess I got to deal with both. That's Gutterbones. Opponent's got to kill both Spawn of Mayhems or their dead is on our upkeep. Activates. Well, we'll sack a Fenlurker. Opponent draws. Piper of the Sword seems slow. Like, it's a sweet card, and it combos well with Priest, but boy, is it a little slow-ish. And opponent dies to their hero's downfall, and that's another one. Well, Mono-Black Mirror going in favor of our Mono-Black deck, and we'll take it. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Budget magic time. More best of 1 Mono-Black Rankle, and sure, we'll keep this. Still not drawing Rankle as often as we'd like. It's been good when we have drawn it, though. 4 is for our opponent. Land's not bad. Let's Gutterbones. Go. Land means Spawn of Mayhem should be able to come down on time. Ooh, Kesselgarenbrig. Barkhide Troll. Well, land and... yeah, let's just Order of Midnight. No attacks. So, Mono-Green Stompy by the looks. Opponent gets in. No blocks. Down to 17. Ooh, Yorvo. Play the Swamp. Go to combat. Get in with Order of Midnight. Hit our opponent. Fenlurker, our opponent. Thankfully, Arvo doesn't have Trample. There goes a Nissa. And then Drillbit, our opponent. Great Henge, Voracious Hydra. I feel like Great Henge, it can't come down yet. But it's absurd if it does come down. Yeah, I guess we gotta take Henge. So our opponent can Voracious Hydra, and then we just gotta hope we can stabilize from there. Regisar should help at least. We are kind of getting stomped on, though. And this Yorvo's gonna grow. I don't know. Yeah, there's a Hydra. Grows the Yorvo. Fights our Fenlurker. Yep. Well, here comes the Dorks. We'll take it. Down to 9, unfortunately. Now go to combat. Get in with Order of Midnight. Hit our opponent. Can we... Alright, let's Spawn of Mayhem. It's risky, but Spawn of Mayhem go. This is our best chance of actually being able to empty our entire hand before Regisar gets to us. Opponent. Land. Attacks. Wow, all-out attack. Well, block here. Block here. Maybe our opponent drew like a pump spell? Alright, down to 7. We drop to 6. Go to combat. Get in with Order of Midnight. Hit our opponent. Play Rotting Regisar. And pass the turn. Alright, Wildborn Preserver. Ooh, we need our opponent to not keep drawing creatures. Yorvo's getting big. Really big. Opponent, combat. Just gonna pass? Alright, opponent passes. Oh, we get pinged. We discard Gutter Bones. We draw Regisar. Well, let's Order of Midnight. Get back Fenlurker. Play Fenlurker. Alright, just a forest. Oh, this is a tough attack. This puts us dead to any removal spell. This can't block anyway. We block, take 2. If we don't attack with Spawn, yeah, I think we gotta do it. We gotta put our opponent on the 2-turn. Wait, this has reach? It does have reach. That's fine. Attack with both. Opponent drops to 4. Well, we will see. What's the draw? Super close game. Opponent tapping all the mana. It's a Barkhide Troll that can grow the dorks. Wow, this is so close. So can dump all the mana into Wildborn Preserver. Make it a 6/6. But our opponent needs it on defense. Oh, does that not work? Opponent attacks. Well, block with Rotting Regisar. Ping, ping. Go to combat. Attack. Attack. And opponent dies. Oh, we got there. Our opponent might have... I thought they could spend all their mana on Wildborn Preserver. Maybe I'm misunderstanding Castle somehow. That's an ability out of creature, though, right? That was odd. I don't know if it would have changed the game. Because we were technically ahead on life, I think we might have been able to just, like, kind of turtle up and trust that Spawn was going to drain our opponent out and then get in one attack with our flyers to win. So I think we might have been okay anyway, but yeah. Well, we'll take it. Mono green, looking good, but not as good as mono black. Rankle list, apparently. We just never draw Rankle, but still legit. Sweet, sweet. So what do we learn this week about Mono-Black Rankle in Throne of Eldraine Standard? And the deck was actually very effective. We played 7 matches, well, best of 1 matches, and we won 6 of them. Our only loss coming to a Knights deck where it was actually really close, but they had the Knight that just kept making more Knights as they played Knights, and it chump blocked all of our stuff, but it was actually reasonably close. But overall, I think it was a pretty impressive performance. We beat Mono Black, we beat Mono Green, we beat Absent, we beat Dimir, we beat Simic Fesh, we built this Sultai Oku deck that everyone was so excited about, only losing to the Knights deck. So all around, I was very happy with how the deck performed, although I will say, I was a little disappointed we didn't Rankle more. We just didn't draw a whole lot of Rankles across our 7 games. When we did draw Rankle, it was insane, and it was great, and it won us some games, but I wish we had drawn it more often. I guess the good news is, we built this deck to be a Rankle deck, but we didn't even really need Rankle necessarily to win. Order of Midnight was super good. I was very impressed. A 2/2 fire for 2 is a lot better than you would think in an aggro deck. Combined with our solid 1-drops, we were able to just get in a lot of damage. We didn't get to activate Castle Lockwayne very much, but I love it in this deck, and it will come up eventually when we run into control or whatever. Spawn a Man was good. Rotting Regisar was also really good. Even making us discard so many cards, it was still very impressive. So in general, we didn't draw the card that made us build this deck as often as we wanted to, and we still kind of just crush people, which I think is a sign of a pretty reasonable deck. So I would say, definitely would be high on this deck for best of one for sure, because we just played best of one and kind of crushed people in best of one with Rankle Black. Also, it's pretty aggressive, which is what you want if you're grinding best of one, but I feel like this deck has a pretty good shot in best of three as well. I didn't design this to be a best of one deck. I built this as a normal deck, and it just happened to be best of one was the only option to play it. I built it with a sideboard and all that stuff. The goal was to play in best of three, but it happened to work well in best of one as well. So if you want to beat down with black creatures, get tricky with fairies and dinosaurs, this seems like a pretty good option for Throne of Eldraine Standard that doesn't break the budget, although I'm a little disappointed. Rankle has went up in price since when I built the deck. It was under $100, but then Rankle spiked a little bit, so now it's over $100, but still close enough. So if you're looking for some sweet, aggressive, stompy style black decks for Throne of Eldraine Standard, give Rankle Black a shot. The deck is super sweet and super fun and apparently pretty good as well. So anyway, that's been our budget magic for this week. Rankle Black for Standard. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.